Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I just recently got a package from Sideshow and I am excited for this one. Check it out. If you can tell, it's the Star Wars Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano. So come on back and let's check her out. All right, so here's Ahsoka Tano in the box. The box looks awesome. But let's go ahead and get her out of this box. So first, here's the cover art right before you get to the figure. And here's Ahsoka, and you see some of her accessories, some of the different holograms, and her little cloak. Down here are some of her other hands. But let's get her out of the clamshell, show off all of her accessories. Alright, so we have the figure out of the box, and we have the Ahsoka figure right here. The stand, which I most likely am not going to use, comes with some instructions, which I highly advise you to look at, especially if you've never had a hot toy before. And especially with this figure, and I'll get to why here in a moment, but it also comes with some extra pins in case one of the joints in the hands break. These here are for you to take these things here on the sides, which hold our lightsaber or lightsabers, and you just replace them with those if you want to hold them or pose them that way. She comes with a cloak or poncho, whichever you want to call it. It is wired around the hood, and there is some wiring here on both sides, but there is no wiring on the bottom. So you can still kind of pose the fabric how you may want. The wire is pretty thin, and it does come with a thermal detonator that likes to roll around. And 3 holograms: Anakin, Obi, and Yoda. And here's the communicator to plug the holograms in. And you have her 2 lightsabers, the regular blade and the swooshing effect. And along with her relaxed hands, she comes with 5 other hands: 2 to hold the lightsaber, 1 to hold the communicator, a fisted hand, and 1 using the force. But let me kind of show you what I was talking about to make sure you look at the instructions first. But I almost forgot this other tool that it comes with. This is to actually move her eyes. You can remove her head and the face comes off. It's held by magnets, and you can adjust the position of her eyes. I'm probably not going to do that, just me personally, but yeah, this is the tool you would use to adjust the positions of her eyes. So let's talk about Ahsoka the figure. And the detail is awesome. She looks, beautiful. It's just a beautiful figure. There are some nice weathering in her boots, and just the overall look of this figure is awesome. On her head tendrils, or whatever you want to call these, I'm sure there is a name for it. Sorry that I don't know it, but it does kind of impede some of the articulation for the head, but she does have some nice tilt. And with her arms does kind of go up about that high, but let me just kind of talk about the arms for a minute. And this is why I kind of said it's a good idea to kind of look at the instructions. Her arms, they're seamless arms. And from kind of what I've heard, if you leave them in a bent pose for too long, over some time it could ruin the figure, the arms of the figure. So when I decide upon a pose that I'm going to keep her in for a long time, it'll probably be some kind of museum pose where her arms aren't really bent, but no, her hand just popped off. But they do bend. I think it can probably go a little bit more, but I'm not going to force it. You see the little folds in the, I guess, in her inner elbow arm, the wrinkles. But she does have some nice, crunch, back crunch, rotates, and she does have double knee joints, which is awesome. And she doesn't have a whole lot of articulation in the feet, but they're still, that's pretty good, and up only a little bit, but it does kind of rock a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of the gist. And sorry, she is missing a hand at the moment, but let's get her into some poses and let's have some fun. And here's Ahsoka in the first pose, using the hologram communicator talking to Anakin. But again, you can interchange Anakin with either Obi-Wan or Yoda. But yeah, this figure is just, it's great. All the details. And I forgot to mention, there are some weathering in the gauntlets and her hand guards. But just overall, this is really a beautiful figure. But let's get her into another pose. And here's Ahsoka holding both her lightsabers. Right now, just kind of wanted to get the lightsabers in hands and just have her standing there brandishing both of them. But let's see what I can do with some other poses and try to test out some of her other points of articulation. And here's another pose with her holding both lightsabers. It took me a little while to get her to stand. Like I said, I don't want to use that stand that they come with, just because I plan on displaying her without it, because the stands kind of take up too much space. But yeah, just look at all the different details in her uniform, in her armor, in her face. This piece is awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna put her in a different pose and try a different hand for that one. The one that looks like that she uses the force, looks like it can also hold the saber at the same time. So that's what I want to try it with that hand. And I want to adjust the sabers and use the swooshing ones. So I'll be back in less than a second. Okay, so in this final pose, I have Ahsoka taking a swing with her lightsaber. So that's why I use the little swoosh effect. And in her other arm, she's using the force, holding the other saber. But yeah, this figure is just fantastic. I am definitely happy with this purchase. And if you have the ability to get her, I do recommend her. My only little gripe is just kind of with the arms. I would have been okay if, they had the pins. That way when I display her, I can keep both arms or one arm bent and not have to worry about over time those parts of the arms getting damaged. But other than that, I'm really happy with this figure. And I do have the Hot Toys 501st, which I will change the head out to Ahsoka's 332nd. And I do have Captain Rex. So until Clone Wars Anakin decides to ship, that's who I'm going to have her posed with. Again, it'll probably be in some kind of just bland museum pose because, I don't want the arms to deteriorate over time, and I'm probably will be one of those to kind of forget, like, oh, need to change arm positions. But if you enjoy the content, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you plan to pick up this figure. And until the next video, be awesome to one another. Collect what you like. Enough said.